And I would now like to give the floor to Mrs. Melina Travlos, President of the Union of Greek Shipowners and the Chair of the Board of Neptune Group of Companies. Mrs. Travlos, you have the floor.
Thank you. Mr. President of the Security Council, Mr. Secretary General, distinguished members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege and an honor to be here today, at the heart of global peace and security, to address an issue that transcends borders and unites our collective interests. I would like to express my gratitude to the Greek government and Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis for highlighting the vital importance of maritime security. Greece is a proud maritime nation by identity and by history. Greek shipping accounts for over 20% of the global and 61% of the European Union fleet. This achievement is not just a point of national pride. It is a testament to Greece's lasting legacy to maritime excellence. The security of our seas affects everyone, everywhere, a significant imperative of our time, yet often overlooked. The seas are not merely boundaries between nations. They are the lifeblood of global trade and stability, connecting our economies and sustaining our societies. Allow me to present the facts. 110,000 ships navigate the seas globally, carrying 90% of international trade efficiently, reliably, cost-effectively. More than 12 billion tons of goods are transported annually: food, medicines, energy, raw materials, consumer goods, everything that sustains our daily lives. Even 1.3 million kilometers of undersea cables for communication and electric power transmission are laid by ships. At the heart of our industry stand nearly 2 million seafarers, working day and night to keep the world moving. A recent joint study by the World Maritime University and the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development produced staggering results. If the global shipping system were to halt, the world economy, indeed the entire planet, would collapse within 90 days. Ladies and gentlemen, shipping is more than a means of trade. It is a silent guardian of global welfare. It unites the world, not occasionally, but consistently. And it delivers under any circumstances, even during universal crisis. In the COVID-19 pandemic, when all other sectors shut down, we kept supply chains alive, delivering the medicines and goods that people needed everywhere. Yet, national restrictions kept seafarers isolated and deprived of access to medical care, a human right taken for granted by those of us on shore. In humanitarian crises, such as mass migration and displacement, our vessels regularly participate in rescue operations. But let us be clear, merchant ships are neither designed nor equipped for large-scale rescue missions. While we diligently uphold our legal obligations and moral duty, states must assume their own responsibilities. Our industry never truly sails through calm waters. We have always lived with the perils of the sea. They come with the job. But today's multiple risks go far beyond them. Shipping is increasingly being weaponized economically, politically, and physically. Piracy is not a distant memory. It is evolving, not retreating. It poses constant risks to vessels, crews, and cargoes. In 2024, 116 incidents were reported, recording about 50% increase from the previous year. Geopolitical conflict and political instability are growingly endangering security at sea. An unprecedented number of commercial vessels have been attacked with military weapons, missiles, bombs, torpedoes, mines, drones. Crew members have been killed or taken hostage. ships and cargoes have been lost. Organized crime at sea, drug trafficking, arms smuggling, human trafficking is also a growing threat that exposes the vulnerability of ships to crimes beyond the industry's control, leading to its unfair penalization. And now, a new frontier of danger has emerged: cyber warfare. A single cyber attack can disrupt vessel operations, compromise safety at sea, leak sensitive commercial data, or even trigger environmental disasters. In addition, the growing misuse by criminal networks of artificial intelligence and digital tracking technologies turn vessels into highly visible sitting ducks for targeted attacks. Ladies and gentlemen, we as an industry work tirelessly to safeguard maritime security. We constantly update our industry's best management practices, strictly adhere to global security regulations, cooperate closely with naval forces in high-risk regions, even when necessary, adopt self-protecting measures, such as placing armed guards aboard civilian merchant vessels. Responding swiftly and effectively to changing conditions is a hard fact of our job. But to have to resort to our people's own resourcefulness to deal on the spot with potentially fatal security emergencies should certainly not be part of it. While our industry is resilient, it cannot and should not be expected to carry every burden alone. Its resilience should never be assumed. It should be assured. A global commitment is needed to keep maritime security as a high priority and a standing policy issue within the United Nations, to embrace a coherent, comprehensive, and coordinated maritime security governance, to include the shipping industry's valuable experience and know-how when addressing old and new maritime security threats. In this dynamic maritime security landscape, we must shift from reaction to prevention, from crisis response to crisis readiness. I would use the Greek word synergy to describe how maritime security should be treated. It cannot be achieved in silos. We recognize and applaud the United Nations' steadfast commitment to solidarity and global cooperation, and we praise the personal engagement of Secretary General Antonio Guterres in this regard. We all need to embody the spirit of the United Nations in its truest form, standing together, not just in name, but in purpose. We need to collectively defend freedom of navigation as a shared global responsibility and the cornerstone of peace and humanity. The seas must be open, free, safe, and secure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Travlos, for your briefing.